last on the block. But at Halloween...
Uh-oh, I think I woke the neighbor.
He came home. Rated R.
Alright, so I just reviewed the sequel to WNUF, and I figured I would follow that up with a review of the original WNUF Halloween special. If you don't know what this is, it is basically a mock, almost found footage news segment from 1986 local broadcast television that basically takes a turn for the worst, where a news reporter is investigating a local haunted house, complete with commercials, all of course in VHS quality, very much an attempt at period accurate presentation. And I've heard this movie get some negativity. I've heard a few people say that the story sucked. I've heard a few people say that it was a weak attempt at replicating Ghostwatch. And I've got to say, those two opinions feel a little unfair to me. First off, with the Ghostwatch comparison, this isn't attempting to be Ghostwatch, at least not in a way that you can fairly criticize it. It did have a really cool marketing campaign where the guy who made it was leaving, sold his blank tapes in Goodwill. He was leaving tapes in bathrooms at horror conventions and stuff like that to kind of get that viral guerrilla marketing, test the waters and see, maybe, I guess, if it got some attention that way as possibly legitimate. But this was never aired on TV. It's 100% an original, shot on video, found footage type of movie. And as far as the plot goes, the plot kind of only exists in this movie to facilitate what's actually going on here, which is really just nostalgia. For the people who like it, you can almost guarantee their age and location. This is like probably the most niche of all niches within niches type of movie. Basically, I think to truly appreciate it, for it to truly hit with you, you have to be basically an 80s or 90s kid who likes horror, who loves Halloween, who enjoys independent or maybe even shot on video movies, and probably preferably growing up in like the Midwest, Southeast, where you watched a lot of local broadcast television growing up. If you hit all of those check marks, you're probably going to love this movie, because it's not so much about the story, it is about the insane amount of accuracy they pulled off, recreating like basically exactly what you would see if you got home from trick-or-treating early, dumped your candy in the floor, turned on the TV, no movies were on yet, all that was on was the news. I mean, this aesthetically is exactly what you would see. There are moments where they do kind of go a little heavy on the humor, and you can kind of see that it's not authentic, but I actually think for the most part, with the exception of those few moments, you could actually show this to somebody and trick them into believing it was real for most of the runtime. Probably right up to the point where shit starts hitting the fan might be where they kind of figure it out. But I mean, there are news segments in this and channel bumpers for syndicated programming and local business commercials that absolutely nail it. Also, the acting in this almost works to the movie's advantage, because I'm assuming they're using a lot of first-time actors and inexperienced actors for as low budget as this is, and that works to its advantage and gives it that authentic feel. Because a lot of times on local news, probably even today, you get that kind of stiff, awkward delivery from the newscasters. And honestly, if they had gotten really experienced, solid actors, it probably would have hurt it. So, I mean, the whole conception of this movie and how it was pulled off is kind of genius to me. Again, if you fit that niche, I feel like you're gonna love this. I found it in around, I think, 2016, and it became an instant staple. I kind of throw this on in between movies on Halloween night, almost like a background movie. You don't have to really, once you've watched it the first time, pay attention too close. It's more about just the aesthetic of it that gives you incredible nostalgic vibes. I know I've probably said nostalgia 50 times in this video, but even the cover for the movie, that right there, that was me as a kid. I would come home from trick-or-treating, dump my candy in the floor, sit in front of the TV, find something to watch in my cheap little plastic costume sometimes. So even on the cover, they just nailed exactly what this movie kind of is. It has a cult following, which is my opinion is very much deserved. But if you haven't checked this movie out, I definitely recommend it. It's a night of Halloween watch for me every year at this point. This is an easy 4 stars. I can't detract anything from it. It's a 4 out of 4. Definitely go check it out. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.